Hello boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on the channel and welcome back to another video of me covering The Last of Us. Now, if you haven't seen it already or if you don't know, The Last of Us HBO show is now live. I put out a video explaining all the places where you can watch it and I highly recommend you go check it out. I also explain some of the stuff you kind of need to know or kind of stuff that's useful to know going into watching the show for the first time if you're either new to it or even if you've played the game and you just kind of want a refresher or want to know what's kind of different in the show than compared to the games, then go check out that video. But getting into my review, this is I loved it. I got goosebumps watching it. It was so good, and we've dealt with so many poor adaptations of original source material shows and video games, like the Halo TV show, the Velma TV series, which recently came out. That's been god awful. We had the Resident Evil film, I think it was on Netflix, that was awful. The new Witcher show looks terrible. But this has been made with love. You can tell it's been made by people who actually care about it. There's so many similarities to the game, but then they've also added so many interesting and unique features and backstories and extra scenes with characters that we know and love that have really fleshed out the story. It opens up with a scene of two epidemiologists explaining how the virus may come into fruition in the future. This is an interview from the 60s. It's not real, of course, but it does a really good job of building tension and building that kind of suspense and letting the people who haven't played the game know what the cordyceps virus is and how it works and why it took over the earth, and it kind of ties into global warming and how the virus kind of adapted to live in warmer temperatures and therefore was able to survive in the human body. But as I said, there was loads of horror features in the show as well. There was obviously the old lady getting infected, who I think I know how she got infected. I'll release a video later on explaining my theory that I kind of, not really my theory because I shared by a lot of other people, but after watching the show, I came up with a theory. I think it holds some truth. But as I said, there's loads of horror aspects where the old lady is kind of in the background off. She's not in focus, but she's twitching in the background, and you can see her mouth opening, almost like a runner or someone who's just turning infected. It almost looks like she's having a stroke, but you know that something bad is happening. The dog is like watching her like a ghost, like a ghost is in the corner of the room. Pedro Pascal absolutely blows the role of Joel out the water, along with Nico Parker. And obviously Gabriel Luna. They were brilliant as Joel, Sarah, and Ellie. And it was heartbreaking to watch Sarah die again. Obviously we knew it was coming, but having that extra time to kind of get to know her and to see her bounce off Joel and Tommy in the time that we did have with her, it was lovely to see. And I kind of wish that, I know it wouldn't be truthful, but I kind of wish we saw a bit more of her maybe. I think one of the things that I've already mentioned, but I think one of the things that The Last of Us did really well was building suspense. I love kind of emergency broadcasts and kind of fake emergency broadcasts and that whole kind of subgenre of content of the internet. And I think that The Last of Us did a really good job of setting that up, kind of similar to Arrival. There's a scene at the start of Arrival where there's jets flying over, everyone's like watching the news, and the entire world almost shuts down, and everyone's in great panic. And I love those kind of things of like a kind of simulated but realistic view of how the real world would react to monumental events such as an outbreak of basically a zombie virus. It was brilliant. All the actors gave 100%, and it's clear to see that they really love their roles. And Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin, who worked on the Chernobyl TV show that's on HBO. Again, if you haven't seen it, then I highly recommend watching it. It's brilliant. But they all came together, and it's created this lovely show. And we're only an episode in. We've still got 8 more to go. It could go downhill, but I really doubt that's going to happen. It's a great show. As I said, we've been so unfortunate with adaptations and shows that have adapted well-loved media, but to see this come through and almost be shot, well, it is shot for shot in some scenes, but almost be shot for shot and almost a love letter to the fans of The Last of Us, and also for people who haven't seen the show, it's wonderful to see, and I'm so grateful that I was alive during this period of time to watch The Last of Us, and the score was brilliant, but yeah. Yeah, I was gonna rank it on my ranking system, but I got some feedback on an earlier video I made, where a person pointed out how there was some issues with the rating system, and I highly agree. I made that ranking system. I think I was running on like 2 hours of sleep over like a 2-day period. I wasn't in the best of state to kind of create some sort of complex rating system, and it wasn't really even complex. It was just shit. So I'm gonna bin that one off. I'm gonna come up with a better one, and then once I do, I'll have a proper kind of a way to scale just how good this first episode, the pilot, when you're lost in the darkness, and I'll hopefully have some sort of scoreboard system going on my channel, almost like an old game, an old arcade leaderboard. I think that'd be quite cool, like a little graphic. That'd be quite good. That'd be a good idea. I'll do that. But as I said, it's a brilliant show. I can't wait for the next episode, which is going to be shown on Sunday for American viewers, and for people in the UK, it's going to be 2 o'clock on Mondays, 2 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Make sure you tune in for the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.